Oh, hello, me lads. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I am Nick from Australia. I hope everyone's doing well on this, Thursday night. It is currently 8:29 p.m. here in New South Wales. Hope everyone's having a fantastic night tonight. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the channel, whatever you want to call it. Tonight, I'm going to be doing my Magic Round fixture for 2022. As we know, the NRL fixture is coming out in a couple of weeks, I believe, between now and the end of the month. So I thought, you know what? Why not do a Magic Round fixture prediction, or what I would do with Magic Round personally, because the Magic Round fixtures last couple of years have been a bit blah. The first year was pretty good. The fixtures for 2021 were a bit blah, but I'm going to be doing my Magic Round fixtures for tonight. This is going to be quite interesting. You know, I spent a very long time trying to figure out what are the best possible games for Magic Round. We all know Magic Round's a massive round. All the games are in one venue up there at Suncorp Stadium. So, excuse me, I got body hiccups now to having that nice Coke. But I'm pretty happy with what I've locked in. I think it's very good. I hope everyone enjoys it. But before I get into the video, make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, comment what your Magic Round roster or fixture would be for next year, and most importantly, guys, hit the subscribe button as well. And if you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so. If you want to donate to the channel, feel free to do so via PayPal. But let's rip into it, I reckon. Let's absolutely rip in. So let's get a mouthful of this Coke first. All right. So the Nick from Australia 2022 Magic Round fixture. So I'm going to go through each game that I've selected, and then I guess I'll go through a reason why. I don't really have a reason for it, but I'll go over why I think that would be a great game and why it would be good for that time slot. So the first game I have, it is on the Friday night, the 6 o'clock game. There is no Thursday night for Magic Round. Normally they have it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night, 6 o'clock, I've got the New Zealand Warriors going up against the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. The other game on the Friday night, the 7:50, the 8 o'clock game, the main event, I've got the Brisbane Broncos up against the Parramatta Eels in what I think would be a very good Friday night. So Warriors and Bulldogs to open it up for Magic Round, Broncos and Eels to be the main event. Super Saturday, the 3 o'clock game, I would go with the South Sydney Rabbitohs up against the Canberra Raiders. I would also go on Saturday night, the 5:30 game. I would go the Cowboys versus the Dragons. I think that would be very entertaining. And the blockbuster, the main event on the Saturday night at 7:40, I would have the Sydney Roosters up against the Manly Warringah Seagulls. I think that would be a fantastic game. Moving on to Sunday, the early game, which is like the 1:50 game, I would have the Gold Coast Titans up against the Newcastle Knights. The 4 o'clock game on the Sunday, I would have Penrith versus Melbourne. That would be a very, very big game. I think that would be outstanding. And the last game, the Sunday night, the 6 o'clock time slot, or 6:10, I would have the West Tigers up against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. So that's my Magic Round fixture. Now, I'll go through why I have selected some of these games. So I think to open up Magic Round, I think the Warriors versus the Bulldogs would be a very interesting fixture. I think the Warriors always going to be one of those unpredictable sides. And if you think about it this way, 6 o'clock in Queensland, it suits the viewership in New Zealand because it's 8 o'clock over there, so everyone will be able to tune in. It'll be a good time slot for New Zealand. And I think the Warriors versus the Bulldogs, who are going to be a different team next year, I think that would be a very entertaining way to open up Magic Round. I think that would be fantastic. So that's my reason for the Warriors and Dogs. I think it suits the Warriors. I think it suits the New Zealand time zone. And the Bulldogs, well, they're going to be a completely different team. And Warriors Dogs, I think it would be a very good way to open up Magic Round. The other game, the next one I've got, the 8 o'clock game or the 7:50 game, whatever you want to call it. I think the Broncos are going to be the Friday night main event no matter what. I would have the Broncos and the Eels. Parramatta are we'll start with the Broncos, actually. The Broncos have got a very, obviously a big fan base, and I think the Broncos on the Friday night, it's always going to happen no matter what. So shout out to Paddy G and Entertain Us in the chat. Entertain Us like, you're making me want to do this. I don't blame you. Yeah, look, I think the Broncos versus the Eels would be a great Friday night game. Obviously, the Broncos, that Friday night prime time, they're pretty much used to it. Parramatta have a very big fan base, especially in Queensland. I think it would be a great main event. Broncos, Eels, why not? I think it'd be a big game and it'd be a huge crowd for that one. Now, the Super Saturday, another interesting game. I think you need to start off with a bang on the Saturday. The 3 o'clock game, get the fans in early. This would be a good game. The South Sydney Rabbitohs, the 2021 grand finalists, up against the Canberra Raiders. I think that would be a fantastic fixture. I think Souths, they're going to have people come out in full force no matter what. Canberra, they'll be going mad with the Viking clap. South versus Canberra, I think it'd be a very good fixture for the Saturday afternoon time slot. Most people would say that's probably a better game for a nighttime venue, but why not have something different? South versus Canberra, get the fans in. All the South fans will come out from everywhere. They'll be coming from Caxton Street. It'd be fantastic. South versus Canberra, why not? I think it would be a very good time slot. Saturday night, 5:30, the Cowboys, my boys. I think Cowboys versus Dragons would be very entertaining. I think the Cowboys have the Cowboys are going to be interesting going into next year. The Dragons as well. Both teams not expected to do a whole lot. So I think by round 10 or round 9 or round 11, whenever Magic Round does happen, I think Cowboys and Dragons are going to be very similar next year. Probably very similar on the ladder together. So I think it suits for a game of Magic Round. Cowboys and Dragons, very even size. I think it'd be a good game. So I think it'd be entertaining as well. It could be like a 34-30 sort of game. We all saw at the back end of last year how entertaining that game was, but we all know Cowboys and Dragons, they're going to be different next year. So I think it'd be a good fixture. Cowboys and Dragons, why not? And Saturday night, 7:40, I think you need a very, very big game here. If you think Broncos versus Eagles is a good game, well, you haven't seen nothing yet. Saturday night, 7:40, the Sydney Roosters versus the Manly Warringah Seagulls. That would be a massive game. Roosters versus Manly. Both teams expected to have a big year next year. They played in that semi-final in 2021. Roosters versus Manly. I think it'd be a fantastic game. Teddy versus Turbo. Kiri and Walker versus Foran and DCE. Roosters and Manly would be a very, very good fixture for Saturday night. Fox Sports would go berserk. Channel 9 would be in damage control for that, but I think Fox would love it. A big game on Saturday night would be very, very good. Roosters versus Manly. Why not? It would be one of the games of the round, in my opinion. Now, let's move on to the Sunday ticket or the Sunday afternoon fixture. The early game, which is like 150 or 145, it would. I would go with the Gold Coast Titans versus the Newcastle Knights. I think the Titans, they really suit that Sunday afternoon fixture, especially the early game. I know in Magic Round this year, I know they played the Sunday night game. I think they're better off being on during the daytime. Personally, Newcastle, they have played, I think Newcastle played the first 2 years at Magic Round on the Friday at 6 o'clock time slot. So it's time to change something up. Titans versus Knights. Both teams made the finals in 2021. Why not have that be a game at Magic Round? I think it'd be a very good fixture. So why not have the Gold Coast versus Newcastle? And then the Sunday afternoon, the 4 o'clock game, the game that Channel 9 will be frothing at the mouth over, the Panthers versus the Storm, the reigning defending premiers, the Penrith Panthers, up against one of the best top 4 teams in the competition in the Melbourne Storm. I think it'd be a great afternoon fixture. The fans would come out. It'd be a huge game. It'd be a fantastic fixture. Penrith versus Melbourne, two big sides. I think it'd be a very good game. Penrith versus Melbourne would be a very good fixture for the Sunday afternoon game. And the final one I've got the Sunday night, the 6:10 game. I've got the West Tigers up against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. I think that would be a very entertaining way to end off Magic Round. Again, Tigers and Sharks, both teams are very high scoring. It could be in another game where it's like 28-26 or something. So I think the Tigers versus the Sharks would be a very, very good fixture for Magic Round. So I guess the other thing I want to mention as well, notice how I've got all 3 Queensland teams on different days. The Broncos can have the Friday night, the Cowboys can headline the Saturday, and the Gold Coast can headline the Sunday. I think for Magic Round, I think you need to have all 3 Queensland teams on the different day. I don't think it works having them on the same fixture. So I would have that on each, but I'd have both teams on each day. So the Broncos can have the Friday night, the Cowboys on the Saturday, and the Titans on the Sunday. It probably works a bit better for all clubs involved. Personally, I think the 3 best fixtures I've got, I think the Broncos and Eels is going to be great. I think the Roosters versus Seagulls will be a good one. And Panthers versus Melbourne would be a very, very good fixture as well. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. So, in case you missed it, Nick from Australia's 2021 Magic Round fixtures. I have got the Warriors and the Bulldogs on the Friday at 6 o'clock game to open up Magic Round. The Broncos and the Eels on the Friday night at 8 o'clock. Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, Rabbitohs versus Raiders. Saturday, 5:30, Cowboys Dragons. Saturday, 7:40, big game here, blockbuster here. Roosters versus Manly. Sunday afternoon, Titans and Knights at 1:50 p.m. Sunday, 4 o'clock, I've got Penrith versus Melbourne. And Sunday night at 6:10, the West Tigers versus the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. So that's my fixtures for Magic Round. Before I go, I'd love to see what the chat reckons. So what do you guys reckon in the chat about my Magic Round fixtures? What would you change? I think I've done pretty well with these fixtures personally. Robert History says Penrith versus the Scum, 4 p.m. Yeah, I think that would be a good opponent for Melbourne. National Sports Science says I don't agree with the opener. Well, that's a fair call because the Bulldogs and the Warriors, I mean, look, it doesn't sound like the best game, but I think the Warriors, like I said before, I think the Warriors suit the 6 o'clock time slot in Queensland, 8 o'clock in New Zealand. I think people in New Zealand would tune in on Fox. I think that would be a very good time slot for the New Zealand people over there. And the Bulldogs, well, why not have them on early? I think they're going to be really different going into next year. Roosters versus Broncos. Then he says that would also be a good fixture. Dogs versus Tigers, says Michael Joshua Lewis. Not bad as well. Bosky says Eels versus Dogs, maybe. Yeah, but I don't think Eels and Dogs, a big rivalry like that, should be moved up to Magic Round. I think Eels and Dogs should always be in Sydney, personally. Joke says swap Cowboys and Dragons with Raiders and Rabbitohs. Oh, do you mean like the time slots? So put the Cowboys on at 3 o'clock and put the Raiders and Souths at 5:30. If that's the case, that's a fair call. Tom Tendo says Panthers versus Melbourne would be a good 7:30 game. Granted, it's on free to air. Good point, but that's why I decided to go with the 4 o'clock time slot because I think Broncos are going to be on the Friday night 8 o'clock game, no matter what. And you know what? Panthers and Melbourne, Sunday afternoon footy at 4 o'clock on Channel 9 would also be very, very good as well. Manly versus Sharks, yeah, would be good. Rugby League history says Battle of the Beaches, yeah, absolutely. So, look, I think there's a lot of games here that are pretty even. I don't think they're one-sided. Like, I think Warriors and Dogs is probably a toss-the-coin sort of game. Broncos and Eels is interesting. Rabbitohs and Raiders is interesting. Rabbitohs are going to be very different next year. Cowboys and Dragons, again, probably another toss-the-coin sort of game there. Roosters versus Manly, 2 quality teams. Titans and Knights, I mean, both sides finished 7th and 8th last year, so it would be a very good matchup there. Panthers and Storm, again, another top 4 clash. And Tigers and Sharks, another interesting game there. But, hey, both teams are going to be very different going into next year as well. So, who knows? Someone said, what about the new Queensland team? Well, they're not going to be there in 2022. They're going to be there in 2023. So we'll talk about that when that happens next year. But, guys, that might do it for the video. I've got nothing more to say, really. But that's my Magic Round fixture for the 2022 NRL Magic Round. Whenever the draw comes out in 2 or 3 weeks' time, I'll go back and have a look, see if I got any of these fixtures right. But, guys, that's it from me. Have a fantastic Thursday night, lads, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night for another video. Until then, stay safe. See you guys in the next one. Go the Cowboys! 2022 premiers, baby.